Happy October, everybody. I'm Jake, and I'm joined once again by my good friend,
Allie. Oh, wait a minute. I'm Alex. Okay.
Yeah, and...
I'm Allie, apparently.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me.
My good buddy Alex and my cousin Allie here again for a rare three-person reaction. And for October, thought it'd make sense to watch a Nostalgia Critic review of a Stephen King property. Something that he's done many times and just loves to do, because even though Doug admits Stephen King makes some great stories, there are some bad ones in there, or at least bad adaptations of his work.
Stephen King is one of my favorite authors. I've read more by Stephen King than anybody else. And yes, the stories that he has created are just, there's so many. We were just talking about this last week. Somebody was like, where do I start with Stephen King? There's so many ways to start. Early King, you've got more modern King, non-scary King, Dark Tower King, right? And this is one of his better stories. But yes, I completely agree with some of those criticisms. He just doesn't know always how to finish a story.
Yeah, The Stand from 1994, it's one of the most famous adaptations of Stephen King's novels. The novel itself is heralded as one of his best. It's a post-apocalyptic story about a fast-spreading virus that quickly wipes out mankind. And just a note, this review came out in 2020, so perfect time to do it.
No relevance.
In fact, me and Alex, a little bit ago, did a reaction to the Cinema Snobs review of The Stand, which was an hour and 14 minutes. Doug's is only 40, but we'll see if he covers it just as well.
But the movie was like 8-10 hours, you know? So
it's
a fraction of the original.
Yeah, it was like a 4-episode, each one about 90 minutes. Because they wanted to cover the whole novel.
Which I may or may not have watched when it was actually on TV. I know that makes me old, but...
Hey, we're all getting there. I'm looking back at stuff I saw in the cinema 20 fucking years ago.
Oh my god.
And this is almost 30 years old, so that's another...
Next year it'll be 30.
Oh wow.
And are you familiar at all with Stephen King properties? Like The Shining, Carrie.
Of course, I know of, some big Stephen King names. I'm going to be totally honest, I don't have much knowledge. So that kind of excites me, because I have nothing to base it off of.
You might be familiar with this one. Growing up, one of my favorite miniseries to watch was It, with the clown. Pennywise, the dancing clown. But that's a story for another day. This is The Stand, reviewed by the Nostalgia Critic in 2020. So, without further ado, let's watch and see how this man-killing virus, antichrist, apocalyptic story holds up.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, good lord.
Mike Myers' cat in a hat. Horrifying for its own reasons.
Oh my gosh.
It's a parody of the real Ghostbusters.
That was an episode of Stranger Things I watched last night when they were all the Ghostbusters.
The Leprechaun. There's Pennywise.
Oh my gosh.
Tommy Wiseau, The Room. That's what he calls his Halloween season. Nostalgia-ween.
Quite elaborate.
Yes.
Hello, I'm a nostalgia guy. Remember it, so you don't have to. You click on the video,
Where'd
you
you
know
get
what
that
time it
jacket?
is. Play it, she's even
Yeah. Yeah.
He's American treasure.
You've brought so much joy to our lives. Now that his creativity hasn't delighted and inspired several generations.
Oh, Shawshank.
He's one of the few writers.
That's a great
I
one.
love Shawshank. I know Shawshank.
The Green Mile. That was Stephen King.
The Green Mile. I love the Green Mile.
Classic.
I don't even think of that as Stephen King,
He does nod
Different
more.
vibes, yeah.
Yeah, the Stephen King project, even if it was bad, was awesome.
Sleepwalkers.
Yeah, some
Incestual.
Langoliers here?
I can't tell you how many times I've heard
I love
people
Carrie.
hype for the latest
Carrie's
film
great.
or
It's a musical
series
too.
that
show.
Like the Leaders,
There it is.
Harry, Tommy Knockers. Hell, it was a big deal twice. Twice. Are one of the most
It Chapter 2 is
the
god
most
fucking
iconic
awful.
Series, The Stand.
This was an event in the 90s.
Wow.
Based on his book about the size of high fibers.
Oh,
with
like
lots of
Ringwald?
Yeah.
The Stand
Yeah.
was an instant hit when it premiered in 1994.
Oh.
And
Mass.
like some of his other
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. Gary Sinise.
After watching them, The Stand was phenomenally well received. Yes, this is one of the few Stephen King miniseries that audiences and critics liked from
It was a
beginning to
TV
end.
series, so
And
this
the
is that
series
little
running a
piece.
whopping 6
Daughter.
Rob Lowe.
That's taking out
Rob Lowe
commercial
and that
breaks.
guy was in
That's
How I Met Your
what's
Mother.
neat. The series
And
was
Daughter.
directed by Nick Garris
And he's
And
the-
SpongeBob,
Whoa.
Patrick.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is. I
it
forgot
is.
about
to say
that.
the least. This truly is among their best work. So you
Yes.
might be wondering, how am I going to get that much?
This is one of the better
material
adaptations.
universally
Yeah, wow.
beloved?
At least the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
These guys. One of the things I love about these two is they go all out, which means they take more risks, which means there's always great, hilarious
Sam Raimi,
And God bless
the director of
everyone.
Spider-Man.
6 hours. I gotta stop yapping and hop right into this. So let's jump right into it. This is the critic. You must make your way
Oh,
into my
jeez.
home. No, sorry, Mother Abigail. I got too much series to review. But it's very
You
important.
can move a little crane.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Minutes. Sorry, but I got way too much to get through. That includes you too, Tamara.
No, that's fine.
Tamara and Malcolm are his go-to supporting actors.
What are you working
I
on?
thought you said you were busy.
Right. This is The Stand. Early taxes?
6 hours, man.
Yeah, right.
It is 6 hours.
Great, check Torrance wrote the screenplay. I thought this
Yeah.
property had a restraining order against this.
The 90s version.
Yeah.
The film opens with a deadly virus being released and the government trying to downplay it. Ha! Fiction! And one of the surviving guards at a U.S. reservation is told to lock up the gate, but he chooses to get his family out. Use the vacuum gate over right now!
Oh, that guy.
Do it now! Do it now! Sorry, I can't follow unless you say that in your horror voice. Alright, fine. Do it now! Got it. The child throws a doll out the window. Dumb kid. And we roll to this very eerie imagery of all the people on the base dead while the radio plays.
Don't Fear the Reaper. That's the song playing.
Half of them were rushing to shout, more cowbell! Later that night, the car is out of control, crashing into a nearby gas station. Yeah, he looks safe to touch.
Your mom would probably touch him.
To be fair, we did
My
just
mom?
eat at Boston Market.
She's
The car
just
dies, but another base
not
is
the most
trying its best
afraid
to
of
keep the
COVID
virus
she
under
was.
control. It's helmed by General Stark, played by Ed Harris.
This stuff has a communicability level of over 99%. Most people are going to think they've got the plain old non-lethal flu right up to the very end.
Boy, am I glad this is taking my
mind off the
news. I couldn't come up with something funnier than that, so I just stole it from the Snobs Review. I so want a King project just titled Southern Accents.
Joe Bob
Then
Briggs.
3 more big transport planes land over Starland in Arkansas. Was car. I knew it was.
Charlotte, North
Town in
Carolina.
Texas
Oh,
is
hey.
all about the deadly disease and how they have to quarantine.
Maybe I ought to close up the station for the rest of the day.
Now,
Flip
Rabbit,
side.
don't you wear a mask. That's how you catch the communism. As expected, the town goes into lockdown, and the man who helped the sick driver named Stu, played by Gary Sinise, is forced into quarantine.
I insist you get to the truck right now, or
He's from Alf. That was Alf's dad.
Your name's in the
Oh, really?
If you had an and or a with on top, then your ass would be applesauce. Meanwhile, an upcoming singer named Larry Underwood, played by Adam Stroke, is visiting his mother because despite his song rising in the charts, he's still financially struggling. This will clearly be the worst problem of his week.
What's that hat to sell black?
That brown sound sure will get around.
Get the feeling they're gonna cut that from the remake.
Oh, Leon. Don't lie.
Hey, if no one's around, people say stuff.
Hey, how'd you know what the album's called? At a nearby base, doctors observed the last breaths of patients with the virus.
Ah, this is interesting. Now watch this.
Didn't we help him?
He doesn't have insurance.
It's so damn quick.
Well, we suck as doctors. Want to see if that Alf specimen ate those kittens yet? Let's be horrible vets, too. Meanwhile, in... I didn't make it.
Maine.
A young woman named Fran, played by Molly Ringwald,
Yeah.
and her father, played by Ken Jenkins, are somewhat put off as the local geek Harold, played by Corin Nemec, keeps trying to hit on Fran.
I was wondering if you would care to accompany me to the Railroad Cinema.
I love that acne effect.
No.
Stereotypes, yeah.
Whispers to be especially moving.
I'm a 7th CEO kind of girl.
Hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. I understand, really. I hope you enjoy the poem and the rest of the magazine, of course.
Oh, get out of here, pizza face. Calling you that because you have literal pizza on your face. Those aren't supposed to be zits, are they? You won an Emmy for best makeup.
Huh?
Oh.
In Arkansas, a young deaf man named Nick, played by Rob Lowe, is beaten up by some bullies with not the best choreographed fighting.
They go.
Yeah, it was a TV movie.
Star Trek looking more real, you might want to do a few more takes. Nick is knocked out and dreams that he's in a cornfield where he can hear and talk. Asshole, don't look behind the rows! Ha! Some reviewers are above making a Children of the Corn reference, but I'll always be that desperate.
I can hear. I can talk.
I can sing! Thus we're introduced to easily the most
Robert-
memorable character,
Robert
Mother Anakin, played by Ruby Dee.
You come see me, Nick. You and all your friends. You got to hurry, though.
There's
Phenomenal.
a lot to discuss about her.
You must make your way
Look,
to the...
I love
We'll do
Mother
it when
Anakin.
they reveal more about her character.
Oh, shoot.
Mother Abigail, you're what, 5 feet?
And shrinking, darling.
Thank you.
She's the Yoda.
Still don't get what you... Okay.
Yeah.
Nick wakes up in the local jail where a sheriff and a medic try to find the people who jumped him. Did I mention the series is a flame to every 90s character acting moth?
One of them had a ring like that.
Ray Booth, our town bad boy.
He's sick.
Laughing and coughing. Always a great duo for a long life in horror. Back in Vermont, doctors in their dinosaur cookie suits continue to study Stu, who is 100% healthy despite him testing positive for the virus.
I don't know how many different ways I can say this. This so-called super flu does not exist.
And if it did, it would probably wipe itself out by Easter. How many times do I have to tell you I don't have the measles?
I'm not responsible for you being here.
Then who is?
No one. Everyone. God.
Spoilers.
Not this thing in here. Like you were outside it. I just wanted you to get a little taste of what it's like on the inside.
So one of the things you'll notice in this miniseries is the acting is actually pretty good.
Especially
Don't
in
get me wrong,
episode
it's
1.
still
Yes.
miniseries acting, but as miniseries at the time go, it's pretty engaging and believable.
Absolutely.
Whoever casted this should have gotten an award of some kind. But with that said, it does make the more hokey actors stand out a bit.
I'm sorry, man. The Rat Man forgive you this time.
So that's Stephen King, too.
And speaking of random people appearing,
Coming to you, Larry.
what?
The man with no face.
I know you. You're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No shit, kid. At least in that movie they call attention to it, and he was one of the major players. Here, he has this scene and a few brief moments where he's just yelling about the apocalypse. That's it. It's one of the most hilariously distracting cameos I've seen in anything. Bring out your dad! No, I don't see a perfect
Monty Python did it better.
I see a homeless man who's completely believable screaming on the street. I see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar! How in God's name am I not supposed to see that? He just doesn't have the chops to disappear that well.
He can't disappear at all. He's 7'2".
Yeah.
Back in Arkansas, the men who beat up Nick are arrested, and Nick himself has been promoted to deputy.
Sorry. John and his wife are dead.
Well,
Oh.
I guess you're the sheriff now. And here I thought politics would work a little different in Arkansas. No, it didn't. The medic tells them they should take off out of town before the virus gets to them, but Nick is nice enough to let the inmates go before he leaves. As the medic predicted, the world starts going to shit as more and more people die, and those who want answers start riots.
For a TV production, they got a huge scale here.
Yeah.
Grieved, the general shoots himself for lying to the people. Nick is forced to shoot his attacker with no gun flash. You should have seen the director's cut. And even radio host from
Kathy
KFM
Bates.
are under
Yeah.
The misery.
You ever heard of a little number called freedom of speech?
Apparently not.
Cancel culture's definitely gone too far. Almost everyone dies at the disease center, so Stu decides to break out before the crazy doctor left ends his life too. Just like Nick, he gets a vision from Mother Abigail.
beast is loose in the streets of Bethlehem. The rats are in the corner.
And the makeup on my arm ain't done yet. Emmy! Alright, here's a jump scare crow to get you back on track. If I only had your soul. Stu decides to find Mother Abigail right after this bit of weirdness.
Come down and eat chicken with me, beautiful. It's so dark.
Famous last words. And we see Fran's father.
He's leaving with no shoes. He's gonna walk out there with no
I don't
shoes.
care what the internet says. Scrubs was funny as it was It was funny.
I like Scrubs.
Fran, hey, remember when you said you wouldn't date me unless we were the last two people on Earth?
To be immune to something this big, it has to mean something.
Well, there's gotta be other people.
Oh, let's hope not. Oh, I mean the opposite of that.
Do you think that maybe I could be...
Harold, we're always gonna be friends.
Yeah, friends always listen to romantic songs on record and put their heads on each other's knees. Christ, Harold's crotch must be 5 seconds away from... Hello? Has anyone heard my song? If I'm the last musician alive, does that make it number 1? Over here! There he finds another survivor, though, named Nadine, played by Laura San Giacomo.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot me, are you dangerous? I don't know. No.
She's scary even now.
Okay, word of advice. If you want me to pay attention, don't put Kareem's hilarious corpse eyeball.
What? Oh my god, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, what you see, you can't unsee it.
Yes, they should probably leave. Hey, look, it's what my parents said my future.
Max Headroom.
Yeah.
At Brewer Place, get this, somebody not very normal, a mentally ill anarchist named Trash Can Man, who blows up pretty much whatever he wants. How do I know he's crazy? The same way everyone's shown to be crazy in this. Wide-angle close-ups.
Gonna stick you in a nut hat, Trash.
Hey, Trash, why did you burn up the school?
I get it. French class.
Like the other survivors, he hears a voice calling out to him, but it's not Mother Abigail.
I will place you high in my council's trash.
The cult of Grouch has begun. Meanwhile, we see Mother Abigail is so old-fashioned she doesn't even believe in plumbing. So does she clean that? Oh, I'm gonna ignore that for now. And she sits around waiting for a PureFlix film to be made about her.
Kind of turns into a Pure Flux film.
But I don't much like it. Well, is it time?
Alright, let's talk about Mother Abigail. The reason I want to dedicate a whole section to her is, well, this might be the only time I've seen a religious person in a King movie or series that's not totally insane. Whenever religion is brought up in a King story, it's usually from an extremist or crazy nut who ties in somehow to what the horror element of the story is. So it's bizarre that not only is this a positive religious character in a King story, but it's almost ridiculously positive.
What a friend we have in Jesus.
As followers flock to her, others flock to this other character named Randall Flagg, who's about as evil and demonic as you can get.
I got the Lord to protect me. I'm not scared of the likes of you.
Dark
For someone who's mocked extreme religious leanings in the past, he leaned incredibly hard into them with this series.
Are you saying that's a problem, dear child?
No, if anything, I'm glad I'm finally seeing variety with King and this subject.
Then what be your peeve, my chickadee?
It just surprises me that his take on this would be as literal as having a servant of God and a servant of the devil battling for humanity after the apocalypse.
Well, just because I say I serve God doesn't mean that it's literally God.
Oh, come on, you quote more scripture in this than Bible.
Yes, but
An actual
that's my
superhero.
interpretation. Flagg never says that he's a servant of the devil.
I guess that's true.
Perhaps there's just a battle between good and evil, and the characters are interpreting it as God and the devil.
But there's no other suggestions what it could be, so what else could it be?
Langoliers?
Really?
That comment from Maximum Overdrive.
You know what, it's done well, so I should just count my blessings.
That's literally what I do every day.
Really?
Yes. 1, 2, 11.
She's supposed to be 106.
I think we're done here.
Pumpkin.
Speaking of which, an evil presence named Randall Flagg, played by Jamie Sheridan, is bringing
Wonderfully.
survivors out of jail and showing off some pretty cool effects.
You got stuck with nothing to eat but rat tartar. Bad luck. Look here.
Whoa.
I love this guy. He acts like an
That is
evil
still an
gargoyle.
impressive
He looks
effect.
like Bobby are wearing a John Tesh mask.
There's a lot to do. We have to work fast.
Meanwhile, Larry puts the moves on Nadine, but it looks like she can't go all the way, possibly because she's in cahoots with the Lord of Evil. Man, I thought it'd be the opposite.
Yeah.
If God's followers have to be celibate, I assume Satan's followers would have to bang a goat every day or something.
Larry, if I stay, we'll end up sleeping together, and I can't have that.
Later, we see Nick come across a mentally disabled man named Tom, played by Bill Fagan.
Get ready for this.
I'm sorry, mister, I can't read. I went to school, I made it to the 3rd grade. I could read some Curious George when I left, but since then I kind of forgot.
So here's the thing about this performance. I don't believe he's mentally disabled for a second. I think of performances from things like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, or Malcolm in the Middle, or even Stephen King's Dreamcatcher. Even though they can be funny too, they still seem believable and work within the reality created for them. Tom is played more dim. That could be because he's played so many dim characters. And yes, there is clearly a difference in how you play the two.
Thought a few decorations would cheer up Main Street. Decoration is my hobby.
With that said though, he is still really likable. I
Yes.
feel like this could easily have turned into Simple Patrick the Starfish, but he finds the charm and even respect for the character that, while I don't believe is disabled, is still enjoyable to be around.
M-O-O-N.
Yeah. Except that.
Except for this gimmick.
M-O-O-N. That spells written.
Yeah, that's the joke. He can't read, so he spells everything M-O-O-N. It kind of plays a part later, but trust me, it's not worth hearing it a million times.
It's more like a billion to me.
M-O-O-N. That spells definite.
See, I didn't mind him.
M-O-O-N. That spells parade. M-O-O-N. That spells toolkit. M-O-O-N. That spells hot. M-O-O-N.
Yeah.
That spells red.
M-O-O-N. That spells
Oh my God! This dude comes across an old man.
Mr. Hand.
Played by Ray Woolston, who both have been dreaming about Mother Abigail. And not like that.
Yeah. Star Trek 5.
Against the better judgment, it might be worth traveling to find her.
So I'm gonna go to Nebraska. You wanna come with me?
Why not?
Well, you don't sound very enthusiastic.
Well, I am leaving a safe, spacious, beautiful house in the middle of the apocalypse. You know, fuck you, I'm staying. The Lancaster cowboy.
Oh, brother.
Across them and discover, hey, they're off to see the wizard too. But Harold doesn't want to go with them.
I don't like the looks of it. This one in particular.
Can I talk to you for a second?
I want to do a puppet show for you. It's called Fisty Meets Face. They eventually agree, and meanwhile, Nick and Tom come across their own strange visitor, played by Shawnee Smith.
Oh, somebody finally shows up in this crappy town that turns out to be a deaf mute.
That's as funny as the writer of this review not seeing the Saw sequel, so he can't make a joke about me and the... is that a gun in your pocket, or... Oh, for once it is a gun.
No, what's it? He's just a retard. He doesn't feel things the way that you and I do.
I'll just say it. You know how Jack Gleason played a villain so well that people actually
Joffrey.
started to hate this poor actor? I friggin' despise this bitch. She is just so mean and so dumb.
I don't want medicine, mister.
That's just poison.
No, sir.
His daddy said don't do it. Don't make him do it.
This actress plays her so well, I feel like my fist would stop centimeters from her face if she ever did this annoying laugh.
They almost have that crying just like me. What?
I don't care if even his slaps are poorly choreographed. I need to see that again.
You and your stupid freak friend are gonna get both of you guys.
What the hell?
Also, every day in high school in 2023.
Whatever death she has in this needs to be slow. And less Power Rangey. Tom come across another driver heading to Mother Abigail and arrive soon after. Meanwhile, I think we missed a...
Yeah, this is weird.
This is when it starts breaking down a bit. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, for a 6-hour series, a lot of things are surprisingly happening off-screen.
Somebody we never met.
I come across other travelers.
Just jumped right into it.
Surgeries to learned how to do
Less
surgery.
focused.
Actually, what even was his job, the more I think about it. Fran gets pregnant with Stu's baby. She breaks up with
No, she was pregnant
Larry.
before
We see
she
that
met him.
part, but I never did see if they were going out or not. Larry becomes romantically interested with someone else he comes across. They get married, and 4 years pass with Tom Hanks still on the island. That's a lot of stuff that happened there. They do show us that a lot of the main characters find Mother Abigail, who's now moved to Colorado. As for everything else, I
Going
guess
down to South Park.
time to show it. But you know what there is time for? The entire national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see
By the dawn's early
What the hell am I doing? Yeah, no joke. They sing all of the national anthem in this scene. Also, did Nick finally give Tom his heart?
It's so he can hear him sing with his hand. Denny's.
Okay, to the series' credit, it is still acted well, and we get an idea of what the new characters added are like very quickly. Truth be told, in a strange way, I do enjoy seeing most of the town meeting as tons of survivors follow the vision of Mother Abigail and are trying to figure out how to start over. Again, it's a little corny, but it feels warm and real.
Yes.
However, things suddenly go awry when Mother Abigail disappears.
Mother Abigail, she's gone.
Oh my god. Everybody give her some air! Okay, or do that, thanks. Wait, that's so strange. So why did you leave, Mother Abigail? Oh god. Mother Abigail, where did you go?
I'm sorry, I was just cleaning my outhouse. Plumbing is of the devil, you know.
Wait, plumbing is?
Yes, and so is football.
Oh.
So are turkeys, knee socks, and peoples whose earlobes connect to their necks.
Okay, why was I following you again?
Because I'm a wise old black woman you dreamt about.
So that makes you a radio to God?
I think so. Maybe.
Hey, Mother Abigail, do you prefer green dresses or blue dresses?
Let me ask God. Hello, God. What dresses do I like? God. I'll have the suit.
Got it. Do you have any suit dresses?
Any other year this might be odd.
2020 was quite a year.
Yeah.
Crazy that it's been 3 years since all that went down.
Thankfully, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
So a committee is formed, comprised of, well, our main characters, and their first concern is keeping an eye on Randall Flagg, who's
Good
apparently
bet.
building an army in Vegas with all the rotten people who survived. So they agree to send in spies. They decide to send a judge, played by Ozzie Davis, one of the villagers named Dana, and Tom.
Yeah.
They want you to go west. Can you do that?
Yes, Tom knows best.
Yeah, they hypnotize him to remember all the details and send him into the middle of the most dangerous place in the world.
This seems cruel.
It seems douchey. Here's the thing. It's revealed later that Flagg has a hard time reading his mind because his brain is so simple. So it does work out. But they didn't seem to know that. For all we can see, they're sending in the dumbest gargoyle towards a gargoyle-eating son. Even Sinise has a look like, well, I didn't think I'd be doing of mice and men twice. I will definitely miss you more than Malkovich, I can tell you that.
See you later, alligator. Have to crocodile.
Tom only pawn in Game of Life. But Nadine finds her way to town, and when she finds Larry seeing another woman, she's told by Flagg to move in on Harold.
I saw you at the meeting the other night. Don't even think about leaving.
1 minute in, that's a new record for me to miss my ex.
You're a virgin. I am too. And I'm gonna stay that way. But we can still do things. Everything but that one thing, and it's such a little thing, really.
How do you know it's a little thing?
I just got a vibe everything about you is a little thing.
Absolute friends.
Come on, let's make like Spielberg's War of the Worlds and not climax. Meanwhile, Tom gets a job in Vegas with the cop from Sleepwalkers.
There goes Johnny with his pecker in his hand. Has a one-ball man.
That's
him.
him.
Rodeo.
I would have played that clip even if he wasn't in this. But later, we see Harold has a plan to blow up the committee.
Don't screw with my disco, Nadine. Let me make a suggestion, my little disco queen. Take a walk.
Harold is like George McFly if Marty never went back in time. You just know he was going to blow up something somewhere. But Mother Abigail returns bloody and in pain.
Oh my god, it's her.
Sorry, I heard Vegas was in this movie, and as an old person, I had to go.
Use this. It's perfectly accurate. Nadine, just tell me when it's 9:15. Until then, keep your yap shut.
You hold on to him, Nadine, and never let go. Harold places the bomb in the house, but by the time they discover it, not everybody is able to get out in time. I am literally about to explode.
Bye, Rob Lowe.
What, I'm dead and you put me in the drapes from silent music?
Why am I here?
To do God's will, child.
Neither one of us is gonna have any more to do with your killer god.
In hindsight, both in print and reality, God does seem a little kill-heavy. She says they have to make a stand, putting all their faith in God, and 4 of them must go on a journey to defeat Flag.
A very pointless journey.
God wants some of you. Stay.
I move we say screw God and invest in guns, all in favor. But wait a minute, Mother Abigail, where did you go? Why did you go? And how did it help anything?
Well, I'll go into great detail about that.
Mother Abigail? Mother Abigail?
No! Mother Abigail!
Oh yeah, it's the funeral home when we take her away.
Already?
Yeah, what do you think I've been doing this whole time? I've been preparing her funeral.
But how did you know?
Because she's all of Stephen King's tropes in one character. The Stand doesn't have as many King cliches, so he pretty much shoved them all into Mother Abigail. The wise old black person, the out-of-nowhere psychic, the folksy speaker, the simple good against complicated evil, and, of course, killing off the black supporting role. Right? Dude, the minute she showed up, I knew she was dead.
Huh. They do that with Susanna.
You're right. She's pretty much a one-person Stephen King drinking game. Good eye, Tamara.
Oh, that reminds me. How tall are you?
Oh, 6 foot.
Thank you.
No problem. The 4 chosen set off on their quest, even their little dog too. While Harold seems to be top of the world.
Dead?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Something one part nasty
Very.
and one part hilarious happens to him.
The goofy hell.
Little Red Killing Her leaves him to die, while one of their spies comes across a disturbing image. Well, at least their rehab clinic is strict. One of the trademarks of Nick Garrett's
That's Sam Raimi on the left, the Spider-Man director.
So here's Alfred Hitchcock. That was him! Come on, get away! He and another assassin are told to take out the spy, but to do so without bloodying him up too much. Asking Sam Raimi to hold back on blood is like asking a celebrity not to tweet about politics. It's kind of impossible.
You're the hidden trouble, son.
To quote what you said to Bruce Campbell, this is what's best for the picture.
Flag also figures out Dana's a spy, either that or he's mad she can hide the mics better in these scenes. And he calls her up to talk to her.
She's working for the good guys. It's easy to forget who's who.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just go.
Oh, there is one more thing.
It's my death, isn't it?
Garrus, your sleepwalkers is showing.
Same
A
director.
shard of glass leading to one of my favorite reactions. Uncle Freddy took over writing for that bit there. Returns to Flag and she discovers sex with the devil isn't as fulfilling as she thought it would be.
We are dead, and this is hell.
I heard they said that every day on the set of Carrie 2. He reveals that Nadine is pregnant while his second-in-command, Lloyd, played by Miguel Ferrer, says they know who the third spy is, but he might have gotten away.
You let me go upstairs without telling me, I can pop your neck like a dick and snap it to a Slim Jim.
Seed is cold.
Nadine decides she's jumping for 2, and where director Raimi was perfectly cast as a bumbling hick, director John Landis is not exactly a badass mercenary.
I buy him as a helicopter pilot. Ooh.
That's what he said when he demanded payment for Blues Brothers 2000.
What was that?
You look like Leonard Moulton with a pop gun. Stop talking cool! Meanwhile, our 4 travelers come across a massive hill, so Stu decides to see if it's stable.
I told you! Piece of cake!
Piece of cake! Piece of cake!
Hold on.
Piece of cake! Piece of shit. Stu breaks his leg, and rather than taking him with, they decide to leave him behind. Why? Because it's God's will.
It's God's plan.
Shut up about God.
If he wants me to eat, he'll send food. If he wants me to drink, he'll send rain.
You know, for a guy who crapped on religion several times, this is having a bit of a war room feel, isn't it?
Oh, that fucking
He's
movie.
eventually saved by Tom, but the remaining 3 turn themselves in, and one of them is shot by Lloyd.
It's all right, Mr. Henry. You don't know any better.
I would have
He's very chill about getting shot.
Not gonna
So
lie.
chill.
I thought a Stephen King story would feature a guy called Rat Man a lot more than it is.
One less rat man in the world. Shut up, that honky voodoo.
He still makes every moment count. The other 2 are dragged out in front of a crowd to be made an example of.
This ain't how Americans act! We gotta stop this!
Kinda wondering what the crowd's reaction to that is, because they've never seen that before. Wow! I didn't know he could do that, honey. Did you? So? But Deadpool comes in to close things out, as it looks like he's acquired one of Flag's nuclear weapons. And, well, this is a King story, and to his credit, this isn't an awful
There we go.
ending. It's just bad.
Hand of God.
I want to hear the laugh of
Literal
Master
hand of
Hammer's
God.
smash
Yeah.
pose that looks so fake. The hand blows up the missile because, let's face it, the author of Left Behind is writing this now, as Tom and Stu watch from afar.
Well, we should be blind.
Yeah.
The next plot point seems so out of
Yeah, and there's 20 minutes of this film left.
Self-explain it to you.
It's the baby. It's come early, and it's got the flu.
That's Stephen King talking to him.
Really?
Yeah, to himself.
I didn't
Yeah, he's put a
6
lot of times
hours, man.
himself
Wrap
in.
it up. You could have had her going through this struggle while you were building up the Midas hand, jerking off the atom bomb. You can multitask, man.
I think the baby's gonna live.
Thankfully, it is pretty short at the end, and the baby, of course, ends up surviving. And if we did have that scene, we might have missed out on this.
Pink baby.
Pink baby.
Yoda.
Gorgeous as dawn in Eve.
Again, in another King miniseries, this would just be par the course, but because this one is pretty damn good, scenes like this are just so freaking funny. Even the dog's giving a look like,
What the rock is down?
yes, it becomes playing with fire for a millisecond. We saw loads of Dove end like this, so we figured it might trigger some Emmys. Ooh, it worked.
You think people can change?
I don't know. She does.
Hey, if King can write a serious version of Dogma, anything's possible. And
That's
was
it.
The Stand. Like any King miniseries, it has its corny moments, but honestly, it's pretty good. A lot of that, I think, comes down to the acting. The majority of performers sell the hell out of this. This is a project that so easily could have been too ridiculous and over the top, but this surprisingly finds a good balance so that it doesn't come across like God's Not Dead 5. The characters are interesting, the pacing is steady, and it remarkably keeps your attention. Despite it being 6 hours, I was never bored. So yeah, I know it sounds strange saying a King series about the rapture with a pro-God message is actually pretty decent, but it truly is. Check it out and see why it's deserving of all the attention.
Gritty. Mother Abigail, you've done well, Gritty. You've put aside your compulsion to mock writers more talented than you and acknowledge their good ones.
Thanks, Mother Abigail. That means a lot coming from you.
Really?
No, I don't know why I said that.
Well, enjoy your nostalgia with you, child. I'm playing rummy with the cast of Little Rascals up here.
Really? How are they?
Drunk mostly.
Well, that's sad.
Bye.
I'm a Nostalgia Critic, I remember it.
How else could it end?
Thank you, camera.
Shut up, that honky voodoo.
Always gotta end with a clip of the most ridiculous moment. Well, I guess the first thing to start with is Alex. What'd you think of Doug's take versus Brad's, if you can remember?
I thought it was fair, and I think I like how he looked at the film as a whole and how he acknowledged that it was a good performance. The one thing that I think is missing in this review, right, is that he kind of, I think the best part of the whole miniseries was that very first hour and a half where they're looking at everybody dying, and he kind of fast forward over a lot of that to get to the rest. And I thought that was like the actual strength of this entire movie. But otherwise, I think it was a really good and fair review.
Well, the good stuff is harder to mock.
Sure.
And Allie, as the person who's never seen The Stand, how does it look to you?
Insane. Truly insane. But honestly, very interesting. It kept me entertained the whole entire time, and I mean, I could only get a glimpse, but the glimpse seemed pretty interesting.
I agree. Like, I watched this about 2 years ago. I can't remember. It's been a blur lately. But the first 2 episodes are extremely strong, where it's about
dark.
Yeah, about the virus, especially with what happened recently. The 3rd and 4th episodes, that's where things start to fall apart, and it really gets weird, and things get all discombobulated.
They get Stephen King movie-ish.
Yeah, and nothing makes sense. Like, Mother Abigail telling the 4 guys it's their journey, their job to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
But they don't really do anything.
Because Vegas was a symbol of all that's wrong with the world. Yeah.
Yeah, and the hand of God coming down to grab the nuke. It seems like that would have happened if they hadn't shown up.
That's every King movie. Yes, the God intervention there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also, I wonder how Las Vegans feel about their city being...
I think they can acknowledge that they are the root of evil in the country. No.
Yeah.
And also, as someone pointed out, there were families in Vegas, like Flag said, make sure all the children go home. So, yeah, innocent little kids got killed when they blew up Vegas.
Oh my god.
But, yeah, I think The Stand is worth watching at least once. Like, even in the second half where things start to go tits up. The one thing that I thought was really good, that stuck out as great, was Jamie Sheridan as Randall Flagg. Like, he was excellent.
And there's the connection to the multiverse, right? So
yeah, like Flagg's a reoccurring villain in Stephen King work.
He is the villain. He is everything. Yeah.
And I guess a good note to wrap up on, because y'all need to bounce. What were your favorite jokes?
Probably some of the Mother Abigail stuff. Yeah.
Ruby D was great as her.
Yeah.
And
or the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh yeah.
That part was definitely really funny.
Yeah, he really sticks out like the 7-foot sore thumb he is.
Or I liked when he was talking about how Patrick Starr's character, how he was like, I'm not buying that he's disabled whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. Like, he's not believable.
No.
Like, there's actually a scene where he forgets to do something. Gary Sinise has to help him out, and he actually shakes his head going, I hate being retarded.
Oh my god.
90s, a little over the top.
But
it was closer to his daughter character, like they showed the little scene of Coach there, it was closer to that character.
However, Bill Fagerbakke, he has a real gentle giant warmth to him.
Yes.
So it was easy to get into. And I think the joke that made me burst out the first time I watched this years ago was the I can hear, I can sing!
Oh yeah.
It's just so unexpected, and also for a TV series, miniseries, this had an impressive scale.
Cast, effects for the 90s, and the breadth.
Yeah, and covering the New York City as much as they did.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one scene and I was like,
Times Square.
How are they able to do that?
And also that hand effect with the stone, that is still impressive to this day.
Yeah, what is he just like wearing like a glove that mimicked?
Pretty much.
And then,
and
they did a good job.
I mean, for the Dark Tower, they condensed 7 books down into a 2-hour movie.
Actually,
and here
it was an hour 30 minutes.
Yeah. And don't get me started on that. Worst adaptation. And here we have the one book that's, you know, the full mini-series. So, yeah, they did it right.
That's all I think we really got to say. It was fun, and I'm glad I got to have the two of you here for this big filming session. Probably very tired. It's time to get home, lean in. And glad I got to have you both, and hopefully see you again sometime in the near future. Wish all you a happy Halloween.
Indeed.
Bye.